So, Greg, you used to be Director General of the BBC. We've just been at a fringe meeting of the Lib Dems talking about the expenses scandal, and you were talking about potential electoral reform. When you were at the BBC, do you think that the issue of electoral reform was covered well enough?
Well, we did a whole politics initiative when I was at the BBC to look at the way we cover politics, which tried to take into account what the collapsing vote, really, the numbers of people who were not voting and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
It was very difficult to do. We made some changes. We put in some new programs. We created 2 or 3 new programs and things like that. But by and large, there wasn't a lot of support for it. And interestingly, the Labour government and the cabinet had a whole discussion about what we were going to change. Was it because, of course, basically, if you're in power, what you want is you want to be covered, and you don't want anyone else to be covered. And they were scared that we were going to stop covering them.
Right. Okay. And just in the meeting we just had, you had a very long list of things you'd like to see, and one of the things was like some kind of commission that isn't formed of the usual suspects. The political class is formed of maybe like a citizens' jury or something that comes up with ideas to reform Parliament, and in some cases, some of the ideas you had were fairly radical. What do you think is the realistic chance of any of the things that you suggested on your list actually happening?
It depends what happens in the election.
Right.
If there's a hung parliament, I think there's a very good chance of a lot of things happening. I think people now know. I think the leaders of the political parties that at every level of leadership now know that they've got a fundamental problem.
Yeah.
And actually, that problem's been around for years. It's just the expenses scandal has just illustrated it for people.
Yeah.
Do I think it would change? Yeah, I do actually. But I think it'll take a decade.
Right. Okay. Thanks very much for your time, Greg.
Cheers.